Okay, capture rate does seem to be running correctly. So we are starting off, and we are immediately looking at one of the new civilizations, FreakinAndy playing as the Spartans, and we have the slightly different skinned villagers, and definitely a new town center. The map is Tamusui Valley, and the idea behind this tournament is that a lot of these maps are going to be modeled after ecosystems that exist out in the world that have blue carbon capabilities. So that means that they're mostly just going to be taking up carbon out of the atmosphere via some sort of maritime plants, be that seagrass or mangroves, that kind of ecosystem. So I did not look at the... oh wait, this actually looks a little bit familiar. This actually looks like one of the maps in World Desert Championships too, just this center water area. But I don't know if that's the same map actually. But yeah, so let me introduce the players before we get too in-depth in trying to figure out this map. We have FreakinAndy in the blue, very high-rated player. I would say top 15 in the world. And then teammate is Leogrampy, who I do not know at all, and I don't know what the ratings are here. I don't know. I don't think this is the best of 7 either. Let me fix that real quick. I think it's best of 5. So yeah, Leogrampy as the teammate on one side of this river, and then the other side we have Nanimaren playing as the Armenians, and then another player that I know fairly well, Kamigawa, played in the only tournament that I've ever hosted, which was called Sabaro, not related to the pizza chain found in the United States, mostly in airports. But yeah, Kami's solid player, maybe not the most common 1v1 player, but very good, very skilled team game player. I'd say maybe like top 50. I think it's being very fair. Feels like probably over top 50. We have our first aggression on the map. We have a barracks coming up for Leo and a barracks coming up for Nani. I almost feel like, given the very even positioning of these barracks, it almost feels like that was a pre-generated barracks on this map. And there are, it seems like, quite a few pre-generated buildings. Let's try to get an idea of all these ships that are now here in the DLC. We have Junk, we have Lembos. I think this might be one of the ramming ships, but I think it actually does very little damage. It almost seems like it's just following rather than actually doing damage. That might just be DE pathing. We have the fishing ships, might be what was previously called the Antiquity Mode fishing ship that we had in the past patch that was causing everyone troubles because it wasn't being affected by gill nets and wasn't getting the reduced costs that Italians get on their fishing ships. And you can see we also have a different graphic for the Civic Age, which is the equivalent of the Feudal Age, coming in now for FreakinAndy, who's playing as the Spartans. I can't really bring up the tech tree. If you guys have seen Spirit of the Law's overview of the Spartans, maybe you'll have some ideas of their technologies. They're mostly an infantry-focused civilization. Meanwhile, elsewhere on the map, we have some crocodiles. They do have food on them. We have some of the new resources, which are these oysters. Quite pretty and glittering, and we can really see there's a pearl right there in the oyster. I'm not sure what the pink would be referencing. That's not clickable. That's not clickable. And then, of course, the mangroves, which I referenced earlier, are... What is going on here? Are we witnessing a death? That is some very clever map scripting. I've always said it, and by always, I mean within the past month, that you got to support your local map scripters, because map scripters these days are just so inventive with what they're able to pull off. I'm not just like trying to toot my own horn, since I've just recently come into the map scripting environment, but these players, or these map scripters, are almost just as... They have their own skills. I'm not going to say they're just as skilled as the players playing in the matches, but they have their own very impressive skills. They're just as creative as these players that come up with these strategies. Militia should win this fight against the Spearmen, and if we look at overall KD, we can see Leo's doing very poorly. Who's the successor? The Armenian player, Nanimaren, is the one being very successful, it looks like, in these engagements, as Nanimaren is still in Dark Age, and I don't believe, unless something's changed, that Armenians can make militia, or no, everyone can make militia in Dark Age. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was thinking the Armenian bonus where they get men-at-arms, but no, he's just making militia, so this all checks out. Meanwhile, we have a Feudal Age fight. The junk ships are sailing around still. I don't really know what they do. I'm sorry to say. Oh, it looks like they're trading. Okay, so they might just be very lousy trade cogs. I guess it might be also short distances, but looks like they're taking in 34 gold. With Antiquity mode, which is what they have turned on in this game mode, you can also trade and collect wood off these docks. So the players have to choose how much gold is being collected per each trip and how much wood is being collected per each trip. We also see the Spartan, I want to say like unique unit, but it's not quite the role, the pull march. I'm trying to think back to Spirit's video explaining what this role is. It looks like it has extra range. 0.5 plus 0, so it's slightly more range. We see the reskinned fires, the war Lembos, doing decently against this militia, but I think it's the exact same effect as a fire galley in Feudal Age. And they pull march, now going down to villagers plus spears. Spears do have bonus damage against ships, so could do decently, but I think you need a few more numbers. You at least need to match the numbers, if not have more. Meanwhile, economies are looking pretty good for Kamigawa. He's got a tower protecting his gold, tower protecting his berries. And then, yeah, teammate Nami is trying to farm where you can find space. It is a little bit awkward when you have these like farm textures that are already pre-existing, and you have all these straggler trees that I guess he could chop to get rid of. I'm going to discount the middle fight for right now and just look on the other side. It looks pretty similar for our Spartan player. We have houses. We have the new mill. What else do we have? These houses look really chunky, really big. But I guess that is just the normal house skin. And then just, yeah, some farms around the TC. A little bit less protected, going a little bit further out for these antelope, or sorry, gazelle. And it looks like big water play here for FreakinAndy. And we don't really see much more military outside of a few militia and then what's on the water. Dembo trying to go in for Kami, but it looks like the Spartan dock is allowed to garrison units. And that is a very interesting icon that Capture Age has for the port. So I guess it's technically not a dock, but a port. New sound we have to get used to. Instead of the ringing of the bell, we have the ringing of the seagull's caws in our ears. And then this is the shipyard, which I believe is where the fishing ships come from, or I don't really know the split is in terms of economy between the two ports. On water, it seems to be pretty even on who's getting the advantage. We still have some junk ships moving around, but it mainly is a fight between FreakinAndy and Kamigawa. Kamigawa with the Persians, so the docks are going to stay up quite a while, and just trying to find a good engagement here. As the spears are kind of like your, this is some odd pathing. Kamigawa is just mainly going for the fishing ships, it looks like, and trying to bring in some good demos when he finds them. But yeah, the spears almost feel like a little buffer. Your meat shield for your fires. Fires have just enough range where I feel like they could benefit from a meat shield. And now the spears are just trying to run after the fishing ships. Both players, I don't think, taking this too seriously. I don't think they have any preparation for the maps. They're just going off what feels right based off of their experience and game sense. Feudal Age coming in for both of the so-called flanks. I'm going to call them flanks just because they were the ones that I feel like were engaging first and doing some Dark Age shenanigans between each other. Pretty late. 30 pop is not usually what you see for a Dark Age push. Demo trying to get in and do some damage. Fires need to split up, and still a very decent demo. Taking out two, maybe damaging the third a little bit. And it looks like Kami has water control. Significant advantage here for Kami's team. 14-7. And Kami's going to be the first one up to Castle Age. Has clicked now. But it's always comes down to what can this new civilization do with these units that might be absolutely busted, but we don't know yet. This is the real test for these new units. Spear slowly just working away at that barracks. And it almost seemed like there was going to be a wall off here. But no, just a market going down, trying to match the uptime. I think the main shortcoming is how many units Leo has lost. Really down on the eco count compared to the other team. FreakinAndy is just right there in similar counts at 35, 36 with Kamigawa and Nami. Looks like players did start with a horse named Shen Xingxi. I don't know what the relation is there for that naming. Ooh, I was going to say that was going to be a big demo, but those are allies. That is not going to be a big demo. And green's more or less going to be left off water. But has clicked up to Castle Age. FreakinAndy a little bit further behind. And now creating the Spearmen, which have this new reskinned appearance. Kind of looked like, I don't know, that really brown helmet just looks like a leather helmet. Like you would see in old American football players. It's just kind of, especially the hunchback, looks like a dude who's just got so much muscle on him that doesn't know what to do with himself. Just kind of looks at the ground. A little bit too much brain damage, unfortunately. Blue pinging, like, hey, you can build a lumber camp there, I guess, for wood, because that's pretty much the best you have. I didn't mention the map too much outside of, like, just the few things that I was spotting, but very open map overall. Forward outposts now from Nani. I guess trying to identify what strategies might be coming their way. Knight coming across for Kami and staying on one very fast working Persian town center for the moment. Just protecting the economy with the towers that I mentioned earlier. And of course, Chen Xingxi going around the economy, identifying points of weakness that could be attacked. And I have to say, these are very blue spearmen to the point where they just kind of look like villagers. And I feel like traditional spearmen aren't that blue. I wouldn't be surprised if both or all players in this matchup are just going to be losing units and not noticing where the units are. Like, you're just going to be garrisoning these in your town center along with your villagers. Fires are... Oh, look at these demo rafts! Yo! Unfortunately not upgraded since FreakinAndy is still on the way up. So not actually taking out a fire ship, I don't believe. I wasn't really paying attention. And we have a castle coming up now for our Armenian player. I am seeing that game... I'm casting this a little bit behind schedule because I was out for drinks with friends. So game 2 has just finished, so we're just looking at game 1. If it slows down, I might fast forward, just a heads up ahead of time. Right now, it looks like, yeah, the Kami and Nani team have a pretty big advantage. Demo is coming in to help clear up these fires, and it looks like the docks from FreakinAndy will be cleared up shortly after that. It's curious what the follow-up is going to be. It definitely looks like FreakinAndy is leaning into the Spartans being the infantry civilization, and maybe hoping that Kami or his enemies just don't notice what's a unit that can fight and what's a unit that is a villager. Everyone just has robes on. I guess in the Spartan mythology, everyone did fight. You know, you didn't have that clear distinction. And we do have a new pole march that looks like had been created from the town center. I forget if this has bonus damage. Let's see if Capture Age can tell us. We have decent amount of armor. No bonus damage against cavalry. And just a decent amount of melee damage and not the strongest unit. So it almost feels like the infantry version of the Steppe Lancer. FreakinAndy deciding to drop another town center very close to his economy just to reinforce that stone. And a castle from our Goth player, hoping that Huskarls can do the trick and just clean up the opponent. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you just... There's definitely been games where people have just slung the Goth player and hope that Huskarls can do the trick. But Armenians do have a potent weapon that busts through the armor of the Huskarl, and that is, of course, the composite bowman. The bowman that just shoots straight. Unfortunately, these knights look like they're on strand ground, taking a few extra hits from the spearmen here. And what is this other unit we have? Are these just... Oh, the guardsmen. Okay, so these are pikemen, effectively. The pikemen plus the pole march to help defend against the knights. Almost look like they want to take an engagement under the castle. I'm not sure where these guys are going. Or maybe just trying to block any attacks onto the exposed villagers. Those villagers are about as protected as you can get on this open map, being that they were under the castle and a town center. More and more TCs going up for Nani and Kamigawa. And players are fighting against crocodiles. I think this... Oh, it's a warrior priest. Warrior priest able to successfully evade that crocodile pair. And I guess just going out to scout. Decent unit to scout. I think it has... let Oops, decent, yeah, decent range to see around. And here we have the Warrior Priests. Warrior Priest plus Knights, a very nice combo, it feels like. Few units that can really damage that, except for maybe like a big crossbow mass that can compete. Plus the little individual Warrior Priest to kind of help heal everyone. And this game kind of feels over. We have a pretty big Vil advantage and a big Vil military advantage. I'm going to fast forward a little bit and hope we can see some new, I don't know, idea behind these civs. We have the Priestess successfully evading. Priestess actually seems to be moving quite fast, all things being said. Yeah, Priestess trying to convert the Knights. Is that the normal walking speed? And that's just like a slightly different looking... might get a conversion there. Has been holding that conversion, it feels like. Yeah, it seems like it's the same walking speed, just different animation. That makes me think it was going faster. A little counterattack by the horse. Nothing to really talk about. And do we have... Oh, we have the elite hoplites now. And these are tanky boys. This is almost like similar to the Hostgarl. And I actually, now that I'm thinking about it, this is actually quite a nice pairing between the Spartans and the Goths. Goths giving the faster working barracks to allow the hoplites to be generated a little bit faster. Though, again, Armenians just poke through all that armor. And the GG is called. So yeah, the second most created unit was the elite hoplite. And it just felt like they weren't quite ready with the civilizations, which is understandable. They're brand new. And they're just testing things out. But interesting to see these units for the first time. I didn't mention the temple, nice Greek architecture there with all of the columns and such. And the nice lumber camp. And I'm going to try to get into, be able to cast the next game without downloading the rec, if it's available. Still available to spectate. Let me see. Alright, we are now into game number 3, just because I'm a little bit behind and we can't get the recs for game 2 yet, and I don't want to get further behind, so we're going to jump into game 3 and just do these out of order, which I don't think is the biggest deal. So again, we have Kamigawa and Nani over on opposite corners of this map, almost like 4 corners. And then we have FreakinAndy as the Georgians with the mule cart, which is very useful. As long as he remembers to bring his villager back. Oh, not an ideal start. Not an ideal start at all. And then Leogrampy as the Saracens in the opposite corner. I forgot to mention, Kamigawa is the one with the Spartans this time. And then we have Nani playing as the Dravidians, because that Dravidian bonus will come into play with all of the dockable terrain around the map. We do have players with markets here in the corner. Other key features, I guess, on the map is that most of the water is accessible from the outside to the middle, except for this one section down the bottom that is dry. The map, don't know if I mentioned already, is Rakawa. So I'm not sure exactly what part of the world that represents, but we do see mangroves again, which is going to be a reoccurring theme in this map. Was the elephant actually taken? Or is the scout just pushing deer instead? Yeah, I don't know what Kamigawa was paying attention to either. Maybe just the villager out here trying to dock. We do have junk ships, which I believe are trade ships, again, and can just be used as scouting ships. You might have to wait until Feudal Age to actually trade. Oh no, I say that, but we have 332 gold? That's crazy amount of gold. I guess it does take a while for it to come over, but at this point in the game, that is huge. Like, if you're able to block someone's ship, or if you're a little bit late with that gold, I don't know, 300 gold at this point in the game is absolutely massive. Vil counts are pretty similar for all the players, except for FreakinAndy, who is losing a villager early. That's pretty nice that the elephant just got stuck on the stone there. And then Leo is also a little bit behind. Let's look at the idle TC time. If I can get to it. Idle TC time about a minute for Leo, so maybe just got housed at the beginning with an odd number of units or something. Did send 2 villagers out to this dock, just, I guess, a little bit extra economy on the very fast collecting shorefish is always helpful. Sometimes players do that because it allows them to protect the villager. they have the little buddy system if you have an enemy scout roaming around. But I don't think... I guess no, scouts can come across this middle shoreline, whereas I think the players in northern corners are more or less safe. I don't think this is crossable terrain. So we have the junk ship now trying to go through the middle to pass off the resources. And yeah, just odd pathing, I guess, between these junk ships. Really going the most inopportune route. Trying to path through every single piece of reed available. Unless the players are actually controlling that, but it really feels like just awkward pathing around the trees. Maybe units path differently when they haven't explored the area yet. That might be the case. And we have this really nice barge in the middle here with some oysters hidden underneath them. So the oysters are, of course, as I mentioned, one of the new gold resources that are accessible by both villagers and fishing ships if the villagers can reach them. And I don't know if they could reach them, though I'm not sure how oh, there is openings here in the woodlines, of course. So yeah, FreakinAndy losing his scout to Nani's TC. FreakinAndy definitely not playing peak performance right now, which isn't really what's being asked. It's really just trying to realize the maps, figure out if there's any strategies that are too broken. What's up, Ray? Yeah, junk ships, but they're collecting 330 gold right now, which seems insane for this point in the game. If I look at players' resource counts, yeah, FreakinAndy has 335 gold, whereas the other players just have the starting, I guess, 50 now that they've used up 100. Leo's on gold, it seems like. Yeah, slowly collecting a little bit of gold with one villager, when really just needs to bring the junk ship back. You're going to see that gold tally jump up real quick. 397 gold, yeah. You're floating so much gold. And it feels like the team that doesn't realize how valuable the junk ships are is not utilizing it. Oh, they've blocked themselves with the Lembos. A little bit of odd pathing here by Kami. Unless that's intentional, but I don't think it is. Not that the ship seems to have been sent anyways to the teammate's dock to collect that resource. They're kind of just using their junk ship as junk without realizing its value. Yeah, they're trade ships. And I think on most maps you're starting with a junk ship for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure if that's the case, but I'm reading what Koito posted. He's the admin of the tournament. He said on the majority of the maps you start with a junk ship, which is a trade ship, as a secondary scouting unit. However, you can only trade with docks, not the port, which replaces the dock for 3 new civs. Might be fixed in a future path, since the devs are aware of it. So yeah, I mean, everyone's starting with docks, or they're creating docks. But we do have Spartans for Kamigawa in this show match. But he's just built the port, aka the dock, for right now. And we do, instead of the bell, have the beautiful seagull chirp. Quite a nice sound. I wonder how they put that one together. Mace Mans, which I think are militiamen, coming to pound on the houses here for Leo. Kami's going for the Dark Age approach again. And the Scout has a new reskin as well. I feel like the Age of Empires 2 Scout has a helmet on him. But in this case, not bare-chested, bare-horsed man. Yeah, look, we can see the difference in Scouts right here. And the little helm here for the Age of Empires 2 Scout, whereas this reskinned... I don't want to say it's Age of Empires 1 because the animation is completely different. I cannot handle the Age of Empires 1 Scout skin. Wait, do they have different speed? Oh, Feudal Age versus... No, they're both in Feudal Age. 1.55 versus 1.55. And the militia are here. Oh, wow, actually take out the Scout. Well done, Kami, with the little micro. But it really feels like the Mace Man are doing absolutely no damage here. I'm guessing these guys are completely reskinned and have bonus damage against buildings. Yeah, +2 bonus damage. And we also have the Pole March, which I believe you can create out of the town center as one of the unique units of the, I want to say Saracen, but that's not the right civ. Spartans. We know we have more spiciness, more action. We have a Scout Rush here from FreakinAndy as the Georgians. All of that damage that was done to the Scouts by the tower, of course, just re-heal in no time. And then we have the fire attacking the junk ship. That could have been very valuable for Kamigawa if they had realized that it was a trade ship and was actually trading with it. Yeah, look, 332 gold. And this galley, I think, is going to lose sight of that. Obviously has other issues on this side as well. So it looks like Nani was just trying to play water until the scouts arrived. We have a forward blacksmith, probably to give the scouts some foraging. Nani not realizing, maybe just focusing on water instead, making sure those galleys stay alive. Now realizing, getting in the tower. FreakinAndy doing a great job, not even losing the scout, but just baiting away the tower fire. Ray, I played on had the junks regen HP. So much chaos. Yeah, I can imagine. I imagine that HP regen wasn't too quick, but yeah. Nani now deciding to wall in the area, and these villagers look like they were chasing the scouts for a moment, but it seems like Nani will at least win water, and we do have gold out here too with the oysters, but I don't know how valuable it is. There's not, I guess there's more fish in the corner here. I like the oyster spawn though. On the generic DE maps, you do have oysters spawning, but it just seems to be along the shoreline for the few maps that I tested. I put out a little short earlier today, just kind of explaining to people how to turn on antiquity mode. So we have both a galley and... Okay, it's the junk ship that's still moving across. And it looks like Leo is the one that has the least amount of pressure. Junk ship for FreakinAndy. Only 194. Wait. That's an enemy. You can trade... Oh, yeah, of course you can trade with the enemy's docks. It's just ridiculous to try that. I guess when that's a safe dock and you realize you haven't been trading this whole game and you're behind, you might as well. Leo is up to the castle age now, but has had all of their villagers forced off of wood. You cannot collect wood with fishing ships, though you can, of course, trade and collect wood via the junk ship. I think, unless it's just the trade cogs, but I imagine they can change a toggle in their dock to, yeah, start collecting wood as well as gold. Kami's unit distribution in top right corner of screen looks ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, just looking at him is very hard to understand. We have Mace Man, then Spearman, Skirmisher, a merchant ship, which I'm guessing is trade cog, fishing ship, villagers, bowman, archer, and then the pole march, which looks very menacing. So we do have knights here for our Saracen player who kind of went for a fast up approach because they already had a market in the corner, which makes sense on this map that they would go for that approach. And now Kami, I guess, is just going to try to do as much damage as possible. Leo back on the wood, but I have a feeling doesn't have enough wood to drop the lumber camp and needs these villagers to drop off wood to the town center before that'd be possible. Might snipe one more villager with these units, deciding to hold off. So yeah, pole march might, plus spears, might actually do decent damage to this knight. Yeah, I think are going to take one knight out, but I don't... Oh, wow. Who's doing all that bonus damage? Are actually going to win this fight. That's crazy. These units look like so scrappy little dudes, but actually doing a good job. Banani also in a World of Hurt against the Georgians. There's a reason why they're so dominant. He's FreakinAndy just with the forward buildings everywhere. He's going to have vision. He's going to know exactly where he needs to pressure. Might even just try to go full feudal on this. I mean, I don't know. That might be a little bit of a throw. Definitely has the high in terms of fishing ships and villagers at 40 villagers and 5 fishing ships. The only one similar in fishing ship counts is Nani right now. And yeah, pretty much untouched eco. Plenty of farms coming up as well to supplement. And nice wall up here by Kamigawa. Interesting walls in the Palisade Gate. Just making sure that the economy stays fairly safe. So I guess on the top side or the left side, we have just shallows between the players. And on the right side, we have this kind of stone terrain that I'm guessing you can't wall on. But yeah, Leo's eco has really been struggling. Actually removed where the lumber camp is, which is interesting, but I don't think it changed the gather points. The villagers are still going over there. And oh, Kami's also up to Castle Age. I didn't notice that. The units still look very, I don't know, Age of Empires 1. But has a ram garrisoned with skirmishers coming forward, probably to take out the stable first. And Leo trying to take out the junk ship that continues to trade with his dock, which I think is very, very funny. It looks like Nani has finally won water, unless the galleys were just pulled back somewhere else. Oh, okay. A little bit of secure area here by FreakinAndy to wall on the water. Overall, I really like this map so far. It feels like it has a lot of interesting elements where players have to... They kind of have their own 1v1s, but they could work together? Or maybe they can't. Maybe it's kind of like you cut to your allies so you can kind of 2v1 one player. And then the water is still accessible by ships, so your lumberjacks might be threatened if you give up water. So there really is an incentive to play both water and land. Not just in, like playing water for economy, but to keep your units safe. Knights, yeah, still aren't going to be clear this up. We have now upgraded... oh no, they're still guardsmen. But yeah, actually no real upgrades. Just the numbers aren't there. Nice quick wall though. But the archers are here to help take that off. And we're going to need more walls. Mangonel trying to do work as well. The pole march actually might be decent infantry to take out the Mangonel with the extra range that it has, but of course plenty of bumping, and we do have a villager here to repair. No one under the town center though, so these guys can just hang out and feast. Now FreakinAndy is up to the castle age as well, and getting bloodlines now. I think Kami's kind of on a timer to see what these Spartan units can do to take out Leo before Nani gets decimated. Nani gonna be adding a barracks, which feels like a prudent move. Just maybe full barracks against the Georgians. But I mean, Georgians seem to be like they're gonna be adding siege. We are getting war galley as well, and it just seems like there's gonna be a lot to focus on. What's on the back of this galley? Oh, it's just... Wait. No, there's something on it. Oh, that's a fire. Okay, it was a fire stacked on a galley, and it had like the weird bumpers. So in case they get bumped up together, they don't damage any of the galleys too much. Lots of spears here for Nani, who seems to be stuck in Fuel Age at the moment. And definitely doesn't have the Vilhai. But still doing okay in relation to Leo. Leo adding a second siege workshop after the first one looks like it got destroyed. Completely off of wood though, so really utilizing the market for pretty much everything. The town center is garrisoned with about everyone. And what is this unit? We have Lancers. Interesting. Lancers for the Spartans. I would never have guessed. And it looks like Kami is ready to go in for the town center and completely defeat Leo, and then maybe help out on water afterwards until... Sorry, a little voice crack. Yeah, Leo's definitely in a rough situation. It was kind of the situation last game as well. Trying to repair the town center, take out the rams. You're still going to have to deal with mangonels after that. And try to run with villagers as well. Guardsman catches that. Kami booming off of this and also putting up a palisade gate. Though I don't think this is cut through yet. So he doesn't have to worry about the scouts coming in quite yet. I almost feel like Leo is trying to cut to the middle, maybe hoping that... hoping that FreakinAndy could come in to help him. But the one trying to get across is actually Nani, who's realized you cannot walk on this middle terrain, so these villagers are just kind of stuck here. Town center under duress. Spearmen trying to take out this Mangonel, but probably won't be able to successfully do the job. Oh, no, they do. And the villagers trying to take out the other Mangonel, just try to hold as much time as possible. So what Red really needs to do is bring a transport ship into the middle to transport across this little section and then into Kamigawa's base. And I don't think he's made a transport yet. Maybe Kami makes one instead. No, it looks like neither player have really thought about transporting that little hop across the pond. Okay, Kami's gonna make a dock. Interesting. Just for a transport ship, I think. Where are the rest of Kami's units? Okay, just trying to seek out where Green still has units. Green still has a villager that's trying to find a sneaky place so that Green doesn't get defeated. We have 2 vills left. Where are they? That's the midpoint. Oh, we have one going over to this dock. Will the Lancer see that villager? Probably not. Oh, it's pathing. Just out of vision. Just out of vision. Leo still has a chance. Neither of them are moving, though. We just have a standoff. Meanwhile, the town center here for Nani. A little bit better of a defense. Trying to take out this Mangonel with villagers. And there's just no blue vills here to repair. Does get it with the last 2 hits from the villager. Lancer has found the vill. So there is only 1 villager left for Leo hiding among the bamboo. trying to blend in. The map would be much more hilarious if the middle there was a Gaia turtle ship with 10% accuracy. That is very chaotic. That feels like a, I don't know, a scenario. Kami deciding to trade with his opponent's market. They've just been beating up on Leo. They were trading with the junk ship that's a trade cog earlier. And Kami like, jump in. Let's go. We're getting out of here. We're getting you back to my base. You are going to boom in my opponent's economy. I have secured it for you. And this looks like it might be game at this point. I'm going to fast forward. I guess I don't need to fast forward. I don't know. There's a chance where I could fast forward and just catch up with real time. It's up to FreakinAndy to somehow, I guess, completely dominate on water. But also realizing that he can't get across, could send his own transport across with knights. And yeah, Nani was pinging that this needs to be walled off as well. And it looks like Ganji is on the way to do that. Oh! Ooh, Ganji, where you going, buddy? Where are you going? A little transport heist. And we have the outpost. We see the gate. But not actually... Okay, walling this with houses. And a castle with barracks as your wall. Interesting. Definitely Kami's eco seems to be pretty good. Even collecting the defeated opponent's resources. So I really want to see what else Spartans can do with this economy. Now up to Imperial Age, getting all of the technologies that we've kind of already seen before. Nothing really new here. Guardsmen, I don't see anything coming. Ooh, we're going to see the trebuchets. Change version of the trebuchets. I am still going to fast forward just because I want to get going. And it looks like... Where did the knights get through? Oh, they transported across on this left side. Okay. So red should still be safe, though. Still trying to harass blue's economy. Still contributing in some way. And green still has a villager alive. Just slowly chopping away here. So I want to look at these statistics. So these are elite guardsmen, which effectively are the halberdiers. Very strong, of course, against... look at that. Treb. Not really a Treb. A Palintonon. But yeah, the help's obviously very useful against the Georgians, who are mainly going to be making cavalry. And now we have the swordsman upgrade coming in, as well as supplies. And I heard a Palintonon do something. Maybe that was just the pack-up sound. Needs to be repaired, or some other army needs to be added here. Looks like FreakinAndy. Okay, just trying to find more stone. Yeah, I don't know where this game's going, though. And there we call it the GG. So far it seems like it's a lot of just beating up on Leo, unfortunately. Nani seems to be a little bit better at surviving against the pressure that FreakinAndy's putting on them. I would really find it interesting if Leo and Nani were against each other. I guess they were in the first game, and FreakinAndy and Kami were against each other. So it is alternating a little bit. But yeah, Nani stuck in Feudal Age. Leo did make it to Castle Age, but Nani, the one surviving longer, having more resources disposable to defend. I guess more villagers disposable to snipe mangonels as well. Yeah, fun game. We got to see a little bit more of the Spartan tech tree. Unfortunately, I can't really see all of the resources. Yeah, Palinton gone. Very good. This Wally that Andy might buy enough time. Yeah, I don't think you can buy enough time against two players, though. Unless you can sling your teammate back into the game. And yeah, Kami had a massive boom. I wonder if that comes down to some of the Spartans' bonuses. Being able to support a lot. Almost like the Goths can support a lot. So that's been 2 points to Kami so far. Yeah, what did Kami get up to in villagers? 125, wow. And most of that was not fishing ships, only making 2 fishing ships. So just relying on the Spartan economy on the ground. So we have game number 4 that I'm casting third, just because these are out of sequence again. And we have another new civ for both FreakinAndy and Kamigawa. We have the Athenians. Athenians, I believe, focus more on the archery range. And then the last civ, the Achaemenids, which are effectively are pre-Persians, focus more on cavalry. I might be a little bit wrong there. Or maybe Athenians focus a little bit on water and archery range. But the map is Seychelles. I don't actually know how to pronounce that correctly. Seychelles, maybe? But it's an island chain found in an ocean. Again, not very good with my geography in this specific region. I know, originally was French at one point, which is I think is why I'm thinking of like a French pronunciation for the region. But yeah, not super familiar. So we do have both of our Athenians on opposite sides of the map, and otherwise it kind of feels like a weird Team Islands hybrid. We have a lot of water, but we have water both in the middle and on the outside. I don't know if this beach terrain is dockable. And we have what looks like some new graphics for little conch shells that has been splattered around a little bit. And I think it's just going to be mostly a hybrid build for both of these players. I can speed up a little bit just to catch up with real time, especially right now when nothing is going on for the most part. I do hear some dolphins out there. We have a few oysters. The corners don't look like they hold anything too interesting. Just a little bit of terrain masking. Some berries, some gold, some stones, some oysters. Yeah, nothing too crazy. But we do have the junk ships again, and they are not being used to trade yet. Trade's going to be a little bit shorter of a distance this time. Let's see if... oh, we're making Lembos here for a little early aggression against your opponent's docks, because you can do that. I think the Lembos are ramming ships, if I'm correct. They do 4 damage, 4 melee damage. So a little bit weaker than a fire galley would be in Feudal Age. But it does allow you to really start with the aggression. You have to like trade off between fishing ships. You don't just get a free boom in Dark Age. So it looks like we just have 2 Lembos following each other. Plus the junk ship just following up behind. Which is interesting since I don't think the junk ship, doesn't have any attack. And is it faster or do you have similar speeds? Lembos are actually faster, but maybe are bumping. And we just have a just passing kind of situation there. Oh wait, that's a transport. Oh, that's... Oh, we have Lembos trying to chase after a transport ship. Not getting close enough, or they are. Okay, and now we're up to Feudal Age. Wait, what? I swear the graphics just changed for a second there. I'll have to watch that back. I'm not entirely sure what I'm looking at. Let's be honest. I don't know what I'm casting. There's so much new stuff that I'm just trying to focus on. Again, we have the Scout Cavalry that has the new skin for the Grecian civilizations. And we have a lot of players coming up to Feudal Age now. So I think I can bring it back to real time. It looks like the FreakinAndy team have docked on the outside, whereas the Kamigawa team have docked on the middle. And they're just, Kami's doing a great job of scouting to see if there's an opponent dock coming up and potentially harassing. Looks like they're mostly going to play land because it seems like they're safe on water. We have an archery range for Kami, and... Oh, okay. FreakinAndy's decided to go fight with the Athenian... Oh. Maybe not. Oh, right. He was just... No, he is up to Feudal Age. Maybe just trying to make the Lembos to attack on water in the Dark Age, but they seem like they're so weak that it's very hard to get... Oh, no. Forward range. I'm sorry. I missed that. And we have the guardsmen here, or the spearmen, to try to, force the cavalry away. The scout cavalry, that is. And so, just have forward range to try to do pressure and really hit Nani early this game, rather than wait around for your teammate to eventually fall apart. And we do have a very early wall off, MBL style, but I think Leo's gonna need to wall in the TC as well. Can't just rely on walling to the TC, especially since there's very few resources under the TC at this point. Kami doing a few archers and bowmen, and then deciding maybe to wall off the middle. I think he's actually walled off any ships from coming in here as well. This feels like this must be passable terrain, the way that's being walled. What do we have here? An archer, a bowman, a spearman, and... Oh, a skirmisher. Okay. So the scouts try to go for the spearman first. Probably wasn't expected here. Oh, a little missed tasking. Oh, it even pulls away the weak scout. So we can definitely see that Nani is a very skilled player, and FreakinAndy might not have been expecting that aggression with the scouts just quite yet. But we have forward spears, forward barracks, forward archery range, forward everything. And of course, doesn't really need too much food eco at home. There are no farms. Just we do have some forage bushes and some box turtles right next to each other for villagers to gather from. And of course, the fishing ships that are still working away back at home. But yeah, plenty of villager time can be spent gathering wood and gold to fund all of these archers. Very weak villager successfully going back home as well. And we have a tower on the very vital food source, which I think is a very prudent move for Nani, and deciding to wall it in so the archers have no reason to jump underneath it. Meanwhile, on this side, Kami looks like bringing over the archers on the other side to help out his teammate, since Green's pretty much completely walled off. Green is Xing, maybe that there's archers coming around, and might go to FreakinAndy's base. And this is kind of the issue when you make yourself very difficult to raid, is that your teammate gets 2v1'd in these team games. They're the one that gets all the pressure, and it looks like FreakinAndy is just sending all the units back and deciding, you know what, it's better for me just to defend and stay even with my enemies than try to force any aggression against two different players' military. Kami's trying to be sneaky, it looks like, with this military. Will he be able to surprise the villagers on the wood line? Looks like he will. He's setting himself in a very good position. Interesting little gate here to limit how much damage can be done. Kami even just like sitting under the villagers or under the town center. But yeah, there's so much military coming in here. I think this might be one of those quick games again. The bowmen do have what's it called? Do have fletching for both players. Yeah, both players. A lot of spears here, but not obviously that useful against archers. But will be preventing the scouts from really jumping on these archers. So it almost feels like these two players need to split up their armies to do maximum damage rather than actually work together right next to each other. And Kami is up to Castle Age as well as FreakinAndy. The Athenian economy must be absolutely solid if both these players can get up. I guess they do have the fish economy to support them. Trying to wall off, and I think got hit through the corner there. So the scouts were able to do some damage despite the number of spears that are around for FreakinAndy. Water fight is being won by Leo, accidentally sending a fish forward, it looks like. Yeah, accidentally sending fish forward. I guess you could try to get a villager around there. And Kami deciding to go for shipyards with the... build a shipyard and a port. I don't know if that's accidental, but I'm interested to see exactly what comes out of what building. Still have the Lembos just moving around. I wonder if it is given... what's it called? Auto Scout capabilities. Because it really feels like it's on Auto Scout mode right now. Archers somehow snuck in. I'm guessing right through this little gap over Chop. And now all of the villagers are trying to clear up that gap. They want to be the hero villager that can go back to the town center and say, I am the one that stopped the gap. I was the one that held. Second town center going up for FreakinAndy back in the base between the woodline and the gold. And Nani's just there to supervise. And maybe pick off a villager if the opportunity provides itself. But unlikely to do much damage. Just runs back away and goes on to the gold again. And does a bit more sniping. Forging coming in for these scouts. Quite a few of these Georgian scouts. And of course will heal. So Nani just wants to take a fight and run back. Yeah, dodging arrows left and right. Very well done. I don't think that was intentional. That's more pathing that gets to take credit for that. More docks coming up for Leogrampy. And I don't know if Leo sees these new buildings yet. Doesn't see that these new buildings have come up on the front. And Kami's switching one of them to shipyard. I believe it was originally going to be 2 docks. And shipyard's not actually building any boats yet, which is interesting. Maybe Kami's just worried about the economy. And as long as he has some shipyards available to him to pressure later, that's all that he asked for. These palisades are absolutely massive. People are going to need small palisade mods to be able to see what's underneath here. Spearmen defending, I don't know, the dock villager, I guess. And yeah, most players' fishing economy is still quite good. Nani and Kamigawa, I think, are planning to add fishing economy on the outside as well, since they're taking up most of the fish that's in the middle already. There's quite a few still in there, though. So I don't think docking in the middle was necessarily a bad move. Fairly calm now, as neither team is really adding siege, though Nani seems like found a way into the berries, though only some of the scouts were enacted to fight that, tasked to fight that. Junk ship just kind of sitting around, not actually trading this match, which is interesting. And FreakinAndy trying to get in with the reskinned crossbowmen, which are laminate bowmen. Oh, sorry, laminated bowmen. You kind of wonder, is the bow laminated or is the person laminated? Do they just have like really smooth skin that allows the arrow to have very little friction as it flies across their fingers? Bowmen running in between two towers, though, not ideal. Though it doesn't look like they actually lose a bowman, so very fortuitous with where the arrows fell. And what is the other unit? The hoplite being added to deal with the scouts, though. Going to be very difficult for them to catch. Though when they do catch, they do have quite a bit of damage. 10 attack on these hoplites and 55 HP, so I don't think the scouts really want to engage against them. We do get to see an engagement, though. And yeah, look how little damage they take. They are just so tanky, but great job from Nami to pull the weak ones away. Loses one scout out of this engagement, but obviously takes a lot of damage from the hoplite. Hoplite did get one kill, and we can see dealt 102 damage. These scouts have 65 HP, so would have killed a scout and a half if Nami hadn't been microing it. More hoplites and spearmen coming out to defend against the cavalry, while pressuring with the crossbowmen, which are now at the top. And we have an ox cart bugging out. So Nani's economy looks decent, maybe not quite on the same level as FreakinAndy, who's been really using the fish. And we do have, well, I think is the reskin war galley. Yeah, oh, it's just called a war galley. It's not even renamed in any way. And of course, we have more of them here for Kami, though we could have a defender's advantage here. But I think that Leo is going to be in trouble. This game is going a bit longer. And we have heavy Lembos coming in for FreakinAndy. So a new technology again. Leo really wanted to get a castle up here. I guess Portuguese could make organ guns. That would help a lot. But suddenly the scouts appeared and limited that strategy. I guess assuming that he was safe since Kamigawa was pressuring on water and this section was walled off, which generally means your opponent doesn't want to fight. But that's not always the case. You have to be on the lookout. Looks like Nani was kind of surprised by these, sorry, not composite bowmen, laminated bowmen coming in. And it looks like Leo's almost ready to just force up that castle. Indeed is going over there to force it up. Does see that there's only one scout there. Not too much of a concern, despite that scout having 65 HP max that it could grow back to. Ooh. Kami realizing that the biggest threat here is probably FreakinAndy with the high score. And we have the heavy Lembos, which I guess is just a fire ship. Never mind, I thought it was like a unit that does the melee damage. But is quite speedy. I love the little animation of the paddles moving across. Don't actually see an attack animation here. I assume it was attacking, but we didn't actually see anything. Let's see about this one. Okay, we do definitely see an attack animation here. Does actually take out two. They look so cute and cuddly, like little insects, like a lady beetle. But indeed have a punch to their fire. And these war galleys look just as clunky as the regular skinned version. Kami, yeah, fighting on the front as well. And making some monoremi, which I think are the demolition ships. Oh no, these are the oh, this is fun. The ram ships that I was thinking about earlier. Oh, and now they're the bireme. They used to be mono and now they're bi. In the middle, we have some fires being added from Nani. And maybe just to try to control this choke point a little bit. Because these can be controlled by ships. But of course, there is quite a bit of siege here for FreakinAndy. We do have a castle up in the middle of Nani's base, very well protected. And there might be a new update, but Manaspa are still very, very strong, especially in mass. Though this is a little bit of a choke point that the Mangonels could make the most of. Might want to jump onto the other side of the choke point where they have a little bit of a better elevation bonus. Kami decided he wants to take advantage of his choke point with the castle. And I'm excited to see the Athenians' unique unit come into play. Overall, the game's a little bit in Kamigawa's favor, but definitely not over. I don't think it's going to be called anytime soon. Looks like Kami was either cleaned up or had to pull back the units. We have more heavy Lembos coming in here from FreakinAndy. And yeah, Kami has a lot to pay attention to while trying to micro all of these units. I think these biremes might actually do decently against the fires. Yeah, it does pretty good. Doesn't take too much fire damage. That is so pleasing. I love the addition of these ships. I would absolutely love to have a ramming version of a ship in like standard Age of Empires 2. Because having to make demos always feels like so high risk reward. It doesn't feel very gratifying, but the ramming ship that stays around and that can just sit in front of your galleys is quite nice. And does have actually decent pierce armor, but isn't doing that much damage to the war galley. And I imagine is, you know, expensive too. They're just so fun. I love seeing all the paddles too. Manaspa slowly cleaning up FreakinAndy's forward with the barracks and the archery range. But we do have Imperial Age coming up for FreakinAndy. We have a new technology, Flaming Arrows, which is being researched at the Academy. I imagine that's just the university, and that's research for chemistry. Athenians, of course, aren't going to have any bombard cannons, but will help with the damage for the war galleys. And do we have imp upgrade for the war galleys as well? Like a galleon equivalent. I don't see anything like that yet coming in on the tech tree. What else do we have? War galley. We do have a Palinton coming in. And the recurve bowman is the equivalent to the arbalister. A little bit of middle fighting on each side. Heavy Lembos coming in. And the fires galleys haven't quite noticed the Lembos over there. I assume my pronunciation of some of these Greek terms is completely wrong. But hopefully not too wrong. And it looks like the war galleys here from Leo are gonna clean this up. But the biremes are just coming right in. They're not too concerned. I was wondering if they're gonna go try to snipe fish, which would be kind of funny. Oh, now it's trireme. Wow, they're actually doing quite good damage, and they're not doing that much damage, or they're not taking that much like pierce damage. So is this like a different equivalent of the fire? I feel like if you micro them, they can be taken out just like a fire, but I don't know. It definitely feels like Kami just experimenting with units as well. Chemistry, yeah, makes these balls from the Palintonon effectively the same as what you would see from a trebuchet. What is that sound that we're hearing? Like a little sword sound? It must be on this other side where FreakinAndy's trying to defend against the Manaspa and choosing to make a mix of laminated bowmen and that must have been the hoplites that we have here. Yeah, elite hoplite now, 12 plus 1, 70 HP. Still a decent amount of armor. But not, I don't know, that impressive. I don't think they're the most expensive unit either. So it could be made in mass. Second castle forward for Kamigawa. Not too concerned on water, I think. Just trying out the new units for the most part. The land really feels like the most important part of the game. As long as you have economy behind. And Kamigawa has 133 villagers to work with. A little bit less, half as much actually for Nani, his teammate. On the other side, yeah, we don't have anyone over 100. So Kami in decent control here with the boom of the Athenians. Forward castle to control FreakinAndy's choke point. And we have some of FreakinAndy's units over here who are chasing the Manaspa. There's a very convenient hole in the back of the base for Nani to run with the units. Hoplites trying to take the hill, doing a good job, and Georgian units decide, you know what, I took a little bit of damage. Maybe I should just run around for a little bit until I heal. And the priestess is indeed healing some of Green's units as well. Will the conversions go in? Okay, I was going to say no conversions. That's ridiculous. But no, we do have some conversions. Castle's still being repaired. I wonder... No, the Palantonon have like the same stats as the trebuchets. There's not really a difference here. And yeah, Kami has made a lot more ships. What do we have in these ships? We have the ramming ships, which just seems to be good against everything. I guess they're not doing a ton of damage, but they are taking out these fishing ships very quickly as they all get stuck along the dock. I guess the worse the pathing is for ships, the more they'll get stuck against the triremes and get rammed to death. Leo trying to come over to FreakinAndy's side to try to drop a town center. But yeah, it seems it's going to be like they're going to... Sorry. Seems like he's going to be unsuccessful with that. And another castle here by Kamigawa, just taking full control of the land. We have another unit, an elite hoplite, okay, here for Kamigawa as well. And just sitting under the town center. And Leo looks like he's on the ropes once again. Even getting the town center denied here by the Manaspa. I think that's all of Green's villagers over here. We just have some cannon galleons, or not cannon galleons, organ guns over here. And the organ guns are just retreating. They're like, we can't take a fight against these units. I feel like they would be very good against the elite hoplite. Just listening to the sound lines, and I like the snake on the shield. Prostagmata. Oh, and we have another unique unit. The Elite Strategos. 18 plus 4 attack. That is a lot. I mean, what has that much attack that's not like in a scenario game? Clearly has a strategy on how to kill things. I mean, they're a bit like Teutonic Knights, I guess. Just a little bit like slow unit. But, I don't know. Seem like they have some decent speed to them. And they have a nice cape. Manaspa still running in the back of this economy. I feel like Nani hasn't actually expanded his economy much. He's just been controlling the Manaspa ad nauseum, allowing them to heal, and then continuing to run, allowing them to heal, continue to run. Priestess seems like gave up on his conversion, or maybe converted a unit right before it ended up dying anyways. So I didn't see any Manaspa. Oh, we do have 3 converted Manaspa sitting over here by Mangonel. And a few fish traps for FreakinAndy, as both players just kind of allowed the defender's advantage to hold the water. A lot of shipyards, though. And I say that, we do have a few ships in the back here. Some elite galleys. Okay, that is the galleon equivalent, the elite galley. And a castle here in the back for FreakinAndy to control, or try to save his fish boom a little bit more of a water fight. But these triremes are just so fast. Trireme plus Lembos, quite the fight. And we even have a teammate coming in with the Georgian fire ships as well. These new civilizations, you can definitely see they don't have much mobility. Kamigawa is taking a while to clean up this base, but it does feel like it's... Oh, even adding the wonder! Let's go! I mean, this is fully fair. This is not BM. They're trying out these new civilizations to their full extent, and I appreciate. Hoplites sound like they smoke a lot of tobacco. It does have a little bit of a ring of like... Or is that a... I don't know. Like, I can kind of connect with that sentiment, Ray. But I'm not sure why that is. Yeah, I mean, I'm just focusing on this wonder for the rest of the game. I'm going to fast forward as much as possible. Oh no, horse color just coming in now for green. I guess he did have a fish economy. And we have purification. What would purification be the equivalent of for monks? Maybe allowing you to convert multiple units? And it looks like it's just going to be a fight between Kamigawa. And I love the whip sounds as these Palantons go down. And the Strategos have a really nice whips or like sound to their sword as well. You know what that sounds like actually? Is when the trebuchets go down in the first opening scene that you would have in Age of Empires 2 in the loading screen. Like the original animation? Animation isn't the word I'm looking for. The little like movie that you would have at the beginning. That's what it kind of looks like. Wonder not completed, unfortunately. What is it? The Elite Galley has a very funny little screen or a little icon for it. It almost looks like some sort of fruit with bamboo along the sides. Curious. But that is game 4. Although I've only casted 3 going to Kamigawa. And yeah, definitely very strong military. It feels like Strategos could have... I don't know how expensive they are, but I mean, very strong unit. And very... yeah, pretty quick actually. 0.99 is not slow at all. Hoplites are, yeah, decent speed as well. Recurve Bowman only 1.06. So that's... I feel like it's almost like champion speed for the Elite Strategos. 18 plus 6. If you're caught unawares, or if they're in a ram, I assume you have the equivalent of rams for the Athenians. But yeah, impressive stuff. And of course, Georgian's a very defensive civ, so once you get castles up in Monospa, you just sit behind and boom, and you're a happy little economy. It actually even went out for the gold on the outside. Did a good job scouting that. Probably with the junk ship at the beginning. Game 5 is live, so I will jump into that now. Oh, let me go back to normal time. And there we go. Game number 5, though it's 4 in my casting, since I'm casting these out of order, as I mentioned. And this map is Sain Saloum. Very odd placement. Almost seems like a nomad start with these TC placements. And green still hasn't placed a town center, if I'm seeing this correctly. Villagers just moving around, trying to figure out a decent place to drop a TC. Yellow Kamigawa is very separated. And this might be an opportunity, actually, for FreakinAndy to kill Nani early. If they can find all the resources they want. Let's zoom out a little bit and see what resources we have. We have, like, these upland areas between the wetlands that have woodlands and elephants in them. We have some oysters scattered around. FreakinAndy has found a very nice spot alongside a wood line of mangrove trees and some oysters. Oysters, oh, have 800 gold on them. I believe... by standard, they have 450. I'm not incorrect. Do we have a variety of oysters? These all look like they have 800, so maybe they're placing fewer oysters that have been modified to have more. Players have junk ships, though the junk ships seem to be stuck in different lagoons and unable to move out of the lagoon they randomly start in. And it looks like these two players are able to trade with each other and getting 19 gold per trip. This does not seem like a balanced map. I'm just going to throw it out there. This feels like, I don't know, Kami's Xing where his ships are stuck at. And like, yeah. Oh no, I guess, no, red and yellow both have their own little area where they're stuck. And, Nani, wait, no. But they're teammates. They're teammates that have their dock stuck. Or I guess it's not their docks, but their ship stack. Yeah, this is not properly balanced at all. Either that or, yeah, the map designer needs to change who gets stuck. Like, I can imagine if players got stuck equally between the two teams, that'd be okay. Kami did scout, it looks like, where Leo was. Did see, yeah, I guess with the water buffalo. And FreakinAndy getting a big score lead. Possibly just because of the trade with the junk ship at the beginning. Junk ship seems very, very, very strong. And I don't really feel like I want to put a junk ship into my map. Unless it's, you know, one of the themes of the tournament. It feels like it just changes the balance of the start of a map a little bit too much. Nami getting early loom, possibly because there is enough food under the town center. And has seen where the elephants are, but I guess that is a far lure, so just making sure the villager survives the trip. Taking 2 elephants? Ooh, brave, but I guess if you don't want to... No, okay. Yeah, taking 2. Very brave. Let's see if Nani can pull this off. I was thinking could have sent the water buffalo. Ooh, elephant's getting stuck a little bit, not realizing, and she's going to have to do the whole trip over again. Camels do have some food on them as well. But the villager hasn't taken any hits, so there's just a slight delay to the overall process, but not the biggest deal. And elephants are still in a decent position to get both of them. And maybe the villager passed around the wood lines this time? Yeah, looks like Nani is going to do exactly that. And Team Kamigawa is ahead in terms of the fish ships at the moment. Yeah, Nani wasn't quite housed yet, but almost looks like it's a panic house going down. And choosing just to use the villagers instead of the town center to kill these elephants. And looks like is going to be able to kill these elephants without any villagers dying, and both under the town center. So very well done there. Yeah, this fishing ship, unfortunately, idle because the dock was placed where the villagers were instead of, yeah, way off somewhere else. Kami was able to find where the fishing ship was, and I guess utilize that. But yeah, this pond is going to run out of fish much faster than the center area. So this map balance is feeling a little bit off for me. FreakinAndy doing the same thing with bringing in 2 elephants at a time. So I do like that aspect of the map. It definitely benefits players who are a little bit more confident with their boy lures. Found a lot of water buffalo as well. I was almost wondering if the town center wasn't going to be in range of that second elephant and wasn't going to have something to reattach to, but I guess you could always just send your villagers out so the TC stops having arrows, stops accidentally killing the second elephant. So the food distribution on the map does feel quite fun. It's just the player start areas doesn't feel the most balanced. Actually, you know what it feels like? It feels like, you say FreakinAndy got loom. Yeah. I guess maybe not that confident. I mean, they are elephants after all. Elephants will get you. Have you actually seen my short ray where I lost 2 villagers at the start of a nomad match because I tried to get just 1 boar and it was hitting me through the corner. It was so frustrating. And then my teammates just like made fun of me throughout the process. I've never had that bad of, like, corner hits from boars before. So I was like, yeah, I'll be fine. I'll just wall in the ville next to the town center while it's building. And just keep the elephant there. Or, sorry, not even elephant, boar there. And then I'll be able to collect it afterwards. But nope, hitting me through the corner. About all the players are getting up to feudal age now. Leo looks like the last one. Oh, no. Oh, castle age now on the way for FreakinAndy. Stable plus blacksmith as the buildings, and the water buffalo are just sitting all the way out here, out of the way. Doesn't want them in the economy yet. Maybe concerned about a fishing ship coming up and stealing them. I don't know why they were up on the highland, or maybe cows just don't like wet feet. That's historically accurate. A little wall-in. Oh, FreakinAndy gets the wall-in by the oyster. Oh, but wait, why could you walk through the oyster? It doesn't have collision graphics. That's hilarious. Oysters don't have collision graphics. That's probably for the best. That also means you can just stack... I guess... No. It might be hard to stack them And yeah, Nani's just gonna prevent the dock. I mean, you can definitely wall yourself in on the dock though. But fire's coming in on the wrong side and just, okay, giving up. But I think this is passable terrain, so you can just actually dying to the fire. Wow. Yeah, you can see how far up the fire can get up onto this highlands. And FreakinAndy maybe instead going for the double stable play. Has FreakinAndy noticed? Yeah, he's a good idea of where players are, I think. Oh, even has seen Kamigawa's as well. And so yeah, it looks like it's just going to be a fight with Leo and FreakinAndy's dock in the middle against Nami, whereas Kamigawa also going for the double stable approach, just much further behind. And again, I think it's just having this subpar dock, maybe also having fewer elephants to work with. Oh, and FreakinAndy's Mongols. I forgot to mention the civs. I just noticed we didn't have a new civ, and I just lost interest. Oh, the same old boring civs. Oh, whatever. But it looks like Kamigawa and FreakinAndy are picking the same civ with each map. Maybe just for balance reasons. Or just because they had the same ideas for what civ they want to play. So we have Steppe Lancers for FreakinAndy, and might have Steppe Lancers as well for Kamigawa this map. Once it gets up to Castle Age, we will see. Long distance on the woodcut, and the Steppe Lancers are in. Trying to maybe attack on the oysters. We do have foraging on these villagers, and oh, I think because Nani's fighting on water, not realizing that the town center is under duress. Whoops, where's the town center? Over here. Yeah, not noticing at all. This is a good sign for Team FreakinAndy so far, and they do have the score lead in the process. Okay, yeah, one Steppe Lancer goes down from the TC arrows, but we do have Mongol Siege from behind, and I don't have high hopes for Nani right now. Steppe Lancers plus Siege is an absolutely terrifying combination to have to deal with. Steppe Lancers don't even need to engage right now. They just need to wait around and make sure that Nani's isolated here, pick off any reinforcements once the town center eventually falls. What is Kami deciding to do? Steppe Lancers as well, and also has point of attack, it looks like. Oh, and they've dropped another dock over here? Wait, so... Wait, where? Oh, Red still has a villager up here, so I guess moved all the way around, dropped a dock so they can trade with the junk ship. How much gold is actually being made every minute? 12 gold. Okay, a little bit better than the 19 that was there before. Leo needs to micro away with the galleys, but it seems to be a pretty easy job there. And looks like Kami's gonna go past Leo and try to hit FreakinAndy. Maybe actually help with the mangonels that are attacking the town center, and very much limiting what Nami can do. FreakinAndy a little bit messy there, losing 2 Steppe Lancers. Let me go back to KD. There we go. We have Eco KD. Kami actually killed 4 Eco units at this point, and I'm not sure where that would have come. Maybe just Steppe Lancers around this middle area. That would be my guess. No kills on these Steppe Lancers, but maybe these guys? Yeah, these guys have 4 on them. So yeah, over here it probably just sniped a siege. But FreakinAndy does see that as the Steppe Lancers path high the siege workshop, and Steppe Lancers just do a little hit and run. And FreakinAndy doesn't want the Steppe Lancers to get here. I'm gonna try to engage. Very messy little movement back and forth. It almost feels like Nani has to come out with the villagers to try to engage the mangonels at the same time. And now they're going underneath the town center where the mangonels are already shooting. Luckily stopped right before the mangonels position. And we have another town center for FreakinAndy, roughly where his units are being protected. More Steppe Lancers in on the wood line here from FreakinAndy. Does notice that very quickly. Steppe Lancers thinking about just retasking somewhere else. Vill count for Kami is quite far ahead from FreakinAndy, who's just kind of considering this position almost like an all-in. But enough wood around for Nani to just repair, it looks like. But maybe running out. Yeah, running out of wood. Needs to send a lot of villagers out of the TC to collect more wood. horse collar coming in for Kami now to supplement the food coming in from the fishing ships. And, oh, the fishing ships, did they get cleared up? No, sorry, wrong pond. Too many ponds for me to focus on. And now, oh, it's being sent out to oysters. So now we see that fishing ships can collect gold as well. Oysters have so much gold on them. So, yeah, plenty of resources. Kami doesn't have to constantly focus on microing the fish trap placements and all that. Very, very fun stuff. What else do we have around? Not much. I think this is just visuals. 2 water buffalo. Kami just trying to snipe what he can snipe. Whatever's accessible while he booms behind. And just hopes that Nami survives. And I guess wants to give Nami a path of escape once that time comes. Though there are galleys out here that he's going to have to move around if he wants to try to get anywhere to the highlands, the dry area. And it looks like Kami's resigned to, you know what, I'm going to have to push with siege as well. I've had my little boom. I am about 15 villagers ahead of FreakinAndy. And now I need to kill Leo. Leo's actually just getting up now, so actually quite late to getting up. Spent a lot investing on winning on water. And didn't have much... I guess did have a decent number of fishing ships behind. I'm not really sure where the carbon cup... the carbon cup comes into play in this map, because there's not a lot of carbon in this map. There's a few mangroves around, I guess. I'll have to do more research or more lookup. And it looks like the TC is going down now. Where is Kami with the step lancers? They're all going back. And here we have the mobilization. Are these villagers going to wall themselves in right here? Oh, a little wall off. Okay, I think some villagers, if they get spread about, maybe try to wall off in between these trees. This is a micro scenario that's very difficult. We have one villager here already. Might just stay there. Step lancers begin engaging, being split up. Yeah, villagers are being split up to try to survive as long as possible. Just forging, but forging is generally enough. And these villagers are all going into what seems like a dead end. Yeah, FreakinAndy, sorry, has walled off that in the back. And I think in Leo's situation here, just spread out your villagers now. This is like the best time to spread them out. The monk is a very nice addition to try to convert some of these step lancers. Big shot from downhill against the villagers. And Mangonel trying to take out the monk with an attack ground. Sorry that capture age froze right at the crucial moment. And villagers try to stay in this wood line, but eventually just getting deleted to prevent from being added to FreakinAndy's economy. We have 12 villagers left. A lot of them down here at the bottom where Leo has not spotted. So if Kami again made a transport like he did in, what was that, game 3, which I casted second, would be able to allow Nani to survive. But it looks like it's FreakinAndy's team's game to lose in this tournament. More step lancers coming over to help Leo stay alive. And it looks like Kami just has to retreat a little bit. And I don't know, he can't produce more because he has a better economy. Despite Red having lost so many villagers, they still have the Vilhai out of the two of them. It's just like a matter of microing against 2 players when you only have 1 player's worth of APM. And there are more step lancers on the field by far. But step lancers, do they have any extra armor? They do not. So don't want to be running under this town center, even though there's only 3 villagers garrisoned under there right now. Deciding, you know what, we can find some additional kills elsewhere. And it might be in the best interest of Kami to track where these step lancers go. Though I think Kami has pretty good vision all around here. The water aspect of this map does provide an interesting point of attack, or you can really limit the passageway around the middle. It's just, it's not very balanced in the early game, is the unfortunate part. Step Lancers are now being, repositioned to try to help. And Red's like, this is my 1 villager, dude. And I'm stonewalling and hoping that the Step Lancers don't just poke right through the stone wall, which they absolutely could do. okay, they're just going to move along. They're like, this isn't worth it. Isn't worth the micro. And of course, in range of the war galleys as well. So if FreakinAndy just mentions that, could save him. A panic town center here, just to allow the villagers a place to escape with all these farms. And I think Kami needs to ramp up production of the Steppe Lancers, and not just villagers at this point. Steppe Lancers are able to protect the fish boom a little bit. And now the villager realizes, okay, I needed a bigger wall off. And I'm probably running out of wood, or running out of stone, so making the palisade instead. Still in range of the war galleys, though, which is funny. And we do have a town center going up in range of 2 mangrove trees and some oysters. Fantastic. That ship icon is throwing me off, but just a graphic here. And green very limited with what they can do. FreakinAndy could try to push Kamigawa's TC here. Definitely has the military available, but also limited with the attention span. War Galley, yeah, trying to harass Kamigawa's eco, but Kami just enough. Getting wheelbarrow, just enough space, that is. Getting wheelbarrow and town watch now to see where the opponents are coming. And Red's job just seems to be to tag where the Steppe Lancers are moving, because there's not too much more of a concern as long as this War Galley stays out of range of that town center. Yeah, Kami's just, abandoning that town center, moving back, and now getting armor. This definitely feels like something you fight in, okay, now making a lot of Steppe Lancers. Something you fight now in Castle Age, rather than trying to wait for Imperial Age for some, like, upgrades. Steppe Lancers aren't going to be upgraded enough to make a huge difference. Kami now getting housed. That issue will be furthered if he starts losing town centers as well. And Steppes are ready to engage, maybe, or maybe not. But Kami's just gonna, be able to outproduce you. 65 villagers now versus 102. We have the engagement, and unfortunately, it looks like FreakinAndy is attacking the stable instead of the units. And that was probably just a patrol in there. He is trying to take some decent hits against the Mangonels as Kamigawa's villagers go in there. I guess Kami's not going to have quite 100 villagers anymore. And we have the second attack upgrade, Iron Casting, coming in for Kamigawa as well. A few armored elephants out here, I guess just to try to clear up some space around Leo's economy, but not actually that helpful, I'd say. And where are the Steppe Lancers going? Ooh, they're going to try to come in from behind. Is that seen by the opposite team? I don't think it is. They see some Steppe Lancers back here, so they may not realize. Oh, but FreakinAndy knows something's up. Doesn't? Okay, now he sees it. But yeah, so easy to reposition. Coming in with the pincer move to take out the monks, take out the siege, and has the superior numbers as well. So unless we see big conversions come in, Kami can't take that fight, but Kami knows he has time on his side for the moment. Can just creating more and more. Getting close to 100 villagers again. Is there any resources that are going to be limiting? I think there's enough oysters out here for Kami. Ooh, maybe a little bit limited on gold via the oysters. But the fishing ships are just not very efficient with their oyster collection. That's the issue for Kami. He might have to start selling. If we look at market events, he has been selling wood and food for gold for quite a while now. And Leo is doing the same. It seems like gold is the shortcoming on this map. Though Leo really is in a position where he just needs to boom and help support. I'm not sure. We have camels being added, but I don't think camels are that useful in this position. It's very frustrating for Kami to try to need reinforcements, but the reinforcements are getting mowed down a little bit by these war galleys. I think Kami's going to want to engage against this war galley mass right now, and Leo might not be paying attention. See how the war galleys are able to get cleaned up. Well done there, Kami. Meanwhile, we do have a little bit of fish boom up here by Nami, and just sharing the lake with FreakinAndy. All peaceful right now. Just fishing ships being added to help support and allow the economy to grow. Down here, Nami is still alive. Has a market, has a blacksmith. Can get up to Castle Age soonish. Very nice trap here along the side of the lake. I'm sorry I didn't see the beginning of that engagement. And that is all of FreakinAndy's... Oh, no, not quite all, but most of FreakinAndy's Step Lancers cleared up. Wonderfully done. And now the monks feel a little bit exposed, though Kami is running into these awkward wood lines and not quite able to get into the position he needs to be getting into with these units. Wants to clear up the siege and these monks, if not also the Step Lancers. Converting the camels. Are these on... These are on stand ground. I guess that's useful when you're patrolling in. But, yeah, now that Kami has a pretty good advantage in this fight, probably just wants to take the fight now and keep pushing more and more to try to balance this out. I wish Leo would stop making more galleys and stick to monks. Yeah, I don't know what Leo's monk micro is, though. I mean, with the amount of attention span you have available to you, given, you know, your low economy, I do feel like, yeah, he could have just kept making monks instead of adding galleys as well. But he did make a lot of galleys in Feudal Age, so this could just be leftovers. And Kami has made his way out of that little choke point he was dealing with before, adding more town centers for his villagers to kind of expand their economy in this area that has slightly more resources, but still very short on gold on this map. Players almost feel like they need to find a trade line that'll be safe. And with this map generation, Kamigawa has very few options unless he regains water control, which I guess could be the job of Nami in this engagement. And he is making fires. Okay. And War Galley upgrade. All right. I guess, yeah, he wants to fight this maybe and take out FreakinAndy's fires in the top. If he has his attention span all spent there, where he can just hide fires on the sides of the docks. So the docks take the damage of FreakinAndy's fires instead of his fires, then he might have an advantage. But yeah, now we see more monks targeting, and the monks do feel like they can make a difference here. Still target... Oh, no. They've been remapped. I don't think there's going to be any conversions. One step just going into snipe one monk feels very worth it for Kami. I wonder if they know where Nami is. Like, this War Galley could have ended him a long time ago. And I feel like this house was new. I don't know if they would have scouted that or not. That might just be capture age. I think that's just capture age, just not showing it. Or showing it even though it hasn't been scouted. And now we have red fires coming in, plus demos. Accidentally taking the strong fire out of the way instead of the weak fire. Going after the fish and the fires. And yeah, FreakinAndy has no idea that this is going on, so not retasking the other fires to come help. It looks like FreakinAndy's trying to find where Nami's base is, not realizing the villagers are still down here. Fully accessible. Might be kicking himself after this game ends. I know that's the victory screen music that we're hearing right now, but not quite what's going on. Dropped a farm and realized, oh, this is where all the units are. Maybe I should try to get conversions. War galleys figured it out, and that TC goes down so fast. Wow. Imp on the way for Kamigawa, and he's forced into just mass light cav. This is Mongol light cav, so it does have extra damage, but probably wants to wait until Imp upgrades to take most of these fights. And yeah, Nami doing a good job recognizing it. Or no, not doing a great job. These fires are just patrolling around here. And we have Imp for green already. And maybe adding helps with Dravidians, which should be cheaper to get. Which could be very, very helpful against the mass light cav that Kamigawa's ready to spam out. Kamigawa's team definitely losing steam as FreakinAndy is caught up with the Vil count. And has, yeah, Leo's back in the game as well. So, forward town center now. Not really forward, just the only other possible place to make a town center, it feels like. And, yeah, despite having 9 villagers in here, Step Lancers are taking a very long time to be taken out. And Step Lancers are, yeah, again pushing into Kami's little peninsula back here. Kami pretty much out of gold, forced to just make light cav, and I think Step Lancers win this fight. This is just like little insects picking at FreakinAndy's actual military. Especially this great engagement around the mangrove trees, where the Step Lancers can just poke through the trees. Oh, unless they have some weird pathing issues. But yeah, Pikes with low eco doesn't feel great. He's on 70 villages, though. He can produce quite a few. And, yeah, I think Kami might be calling it at this point, or very soon. He's getting Hussar. He can afford that. Red's getting housed. And I honestly feel like Red should just be sending gold to Kami at this point, because Kami can actually utilize the gold. Kami hasn't really sent any units to raid either. Fire's trying to take out the town center, but I think they can only reach the farms. Looks like Kami's leaving the camels at home to defend, and the Hussars are wrapping around to raid. Which is exactly what I was thinking. We're on the same wavelength. Or it might as well just be the same elo, to be honest. And here's the issue. Steps. Okay. Steps dealing with the flies first that are harassing them. And then finding... Oh, okay. Not actually taking the fight. Kami might decide, you know what, I don't need to engage with these steps until they force the fight. And FreakinAndy deciding, you know what, I don't want to take this fight against heavy camel. Or no, these are just standard camels. With actually just camel castle age upgrades. We're getting the attack upgrade coming in now because Mongols don't get the final armor, right? On their cavalry. You just have to rely on the extra HP. What is this house situation here? Maybe just trying to deal with these capped rams that are coming in for the Mongols player. And using house walls since the Step Lancers can poke through any palisade walls. Massive raids here from the Hussars. Halbs are just out of position. So many halbs being created and not actually utilized. And now we are down to 55 villagers. So actually down villagers since arriving to Imperial Age. But is maybe taking out some of these stables. Hussar there stands no chance of actually finding glory in aggression and raiding. And yeah, still more gold here. The map generation just feels off. Good raids in the back as well for Kami on FreakinAndy's base and on the farms. FreakinAndy realizing now and sending anyone towards the town center. A few steps here should be able to fight this off. Fast fire coming in for FreakinAndy. What's that for? That seems very odd. And getting Bodkin probably just to help defend the town centers. I don't think you'd go into Mengadai in this matchup. I mean, unless Mengadai plus Halb is your composition. But I think that's very much for the town centers to deal with these Hussar. Yeah, Red still has two town centers, somewhat defended. I don't know, blue and green seem to have like lost steam. They don't have any siege added. The two capped rams are down here. You're doing ringing around a rosy around the oysters. Very AI or army-esque. And Kami's just continuing to add villagers. Probably going to be the first one to be pop capped. But still behind in the overall team villager count. And there is all this gold out here ready to be taken, but of course a little bit slow because it's further out. Can only really be taken by oysters. And now we have Elite Step Lancer, which I think Kamigawa is going to dread, trying to add as many stables as possible. But I think once these Step Lancers finally make it into Kami's eco, which they honestly should have done a long time ago, it will spell game over. Full camel raids in the middle, but they're just dealing with Halbs. Not the ideal enemy. Step Lancers find some first kills here. And Kami going for the house walls. Try to keep out the Step Lancers. Steppies just need to go deeper. This is just cursory, man. You gotta go deep into the economy. Kami has found every single little inch of space here to utilize for farms and lumber camps and buildings. And we need a few more houses. And yeah, the step lancers just get through the houses so quick. And don't know what Kami thinks about that. More stables up here, though, to continuously raid. Might have a little bit of a food bank to continue playing on for a while. And where did those light cap come from? Were they transported over? I don't see a transport hanging out by the shallows. They must have just come along with the step lancers. Step lancers numbers have decreased somewhat. 21 step lancers, but they have found 61 kills in the process. Kami still has the bill high and actually is buying food now. And green is just not contributing. Has so many hubs, but they never seem to be in the right position. I guess Kami has just so many stables at this point that he's just, yeah, outmassing. Added a university. I'm not sure what he got out of the university. Maybe thinking ballistics to deal with the steps, and they call the GG. Realize Red's not getting back in this game, and Kami's not gonna carry this. Well done. I think this is my least favorite out of the maps. I think my favorite map was the one that had water going across down the middle of the map. I think that was very inventive. Statistics, so many Hussar made by Kami. Also many Step Lancers made by both of the 2K plus players. Yeah, FreakinAndy ended up taking better engagements, or better KD overall. And that might just be because was able to kill a lot of Red's units. I think Leo's KD advantage might also be because of... I guess the hubs weren't really losing to any units, and then also winning on water early. Kami, yeah, look how much how much less gold he had than FreakinAndy. That was a major decider in that matchup. Kami had seen most of the map, he just didn't have access with it based off where he started. So I really feel like that map needs some work on the starting positions. Like maybe if you add shallows around the entire map, around the edges, that helps balance it out a little bit. But having this, like, yeah, this little peninsula here that's stuck, and then you run out of gold. Though, I guess there was gold here. Maybe you should make a point that players would have to fight for water a little bit more, because it does feel like it decides the majority of the game here. Or it's up to the players to scout and see how much water can see. Can I check how rangeable every yellow TC is from water? I mean, this feels like a ship should be able to get here, and that's within like 9 tiles. I don't have, actually, why don't I have the, what do you call it? Tiles on the grid mod. Graphics. Yeah, I don't see it in here. But I have it in game, so I'm surprised it's not being... Oh, there we go. Blind. Didn't realize it was going to be a scroll wheel. Need it a little bit higher. My eyes are not that good. Zoom speed. Whoops. Some graphics. Let's put it up to 55. Alright, so 9 tiles, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe if I can climb up this hill a little bit. Yeah, 7 plus 2. I guess no, once you add Bracer and Chemistry, then definitely can range it. But War Galleys at this point cannot, I don't think. Similar, yeah, here this is more than 9. So this one I think is the closest, assuming that little touch of pond was rangeable. So let me see if I can cast the game 2 that I missed because I was late. It's not showing up. Oh, wait. Update this profile. Yeah, not showing up on AoE2 Insights. That's very odd. Only the first game wants to show up. Oh, no. Okay. On FreakinAndy's, they're all showing up. So, Life Buoy Atoll is game 2 that I missed. So, it's not over yet. FreakinAndy could get a second point. All right, last game to see if FreakinAndy can come back with at least one more game. And it will be on Life Buoy Atoll. I guess it looks like players can repick civilizations. All right, we are into it, and you can see that the map looks like a little bit like a life buoy. And I did see this one as it was submitted, and the comments were that atolls are very much affected by climate change and sea level rising, and so that's why the atoll is kind of shaped into a life buoy. And you see we have the shallows and then the dry land plus wood lines that are in like a repeating pattern the way you have the red and the white of a life buoy. So we have the two teammates up in the north. We have Leo playing as the Vikings and teammate FreakinAndy playing as the Armenians. On the other side, we have Nani also playing as the Vikings and Kami playing as the Gujaras, which is very interesting. I guess you start with a lot of turkeys, and that might be why. But choosing not to build the early mill because it wants to start the fishing production as soon as possible. Where is he setting all of his turkeys? Maybe deciding to build a mill somewhere else? Maybe on the shorefish instead of on the berries. That makes sense, but realizing needs a house first. And I think we can fast forward on this one because it's a wreck. And just try to... There's no new civilization, so nothing too interesting. But we do have the junk ships that can trade as they move between the two players' docks. 100 gold already coming back for these players. Junk ships feel like they either need to be slowed down or... I don't know. 100 gold at this point in the game feels like massive. I mean, it really effectively means you don't have to go on gold until Castle Age. I feel like getting 100 gold like this every minute or so, every 30 seconds, maybe this minute, is enough for, yeah, especially since it's starting in Dark Age, you build up a bank, so in Feudal Age, you're not going through that much gold that quickly. Maybe if you're going like heavy on water and you're making a lot of fire ships and fire galleys. Loom coming in for Nani. And forward dock now for FreakinAndy. And of course, these villagers will be able to collect from that shorefish, so yeah. They still have a task after that. Meanwhile, Leo has the back dock onto the wider ocean outside of the atoll. Same way Kami. I mean, Kami's a little bit more forward, I could say. And so, yeah, everyone just about reaching Feudal Age soon enough. But FreakinAndy definitely the first. I don't know if Armenians have a faster build. I guess their mule cart is a little bit cheaper to create. And going for early fletching as well, by the looks of it. Double galley production, or double dock galley production. And does he know where... Okay, did use the fishing ship to scout if there was any galleys on the front side. Did not see that, so galleys are going out to the outside. I might speed cast all this game just because it's getting late. And 3 dock galleys here for Nani, so defender's advantage coming into play. You know, just... if they can find their way around the mangroves and into the ocean without running into any shoals and coral. But I don't think those have been included into the latest edition. And we still have junk with the trades. Yeah, both players have fully realized that junk is very viable. Where are these fishing ships going? Oh, they just didn't scout that there's, yeah, more fish. Okay. Leo recognizes that issue very quickly and retasks the fish around. But, yeah. I don't know. Oh, these galleys decided to go forward. And FreakinAndy was able to sneak in with 2 galleys. And this villager that thought was being sneaky and walling that off, unsuccessful. Mangroves provide a lot of opportunities. And yeah, FreakinAndy is going to have to run with his ships. But taking a good engagement here by Nani. Do we have fletching? Yeah, we do have fletching for both players. And then on the other side, we are deciding to fight on land, it looks like. Yeah. Stable here, 4 Gujaras. Oh, fast castle. I didn't even notice that. I missed that, but it makes sense with all the fish coming in. And, of course, all the gold that you can use to help buy yourself up. Did we have a buy up with some market events? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if that was actually the case. But yeah, Sharamsha Riders plus the elephants. Very scary combination. Meanwhile, Green was just adding galleys himself and not actually sniping Kavi's fish. So very ineffective galley rush. Waiting for a second elephant, it looks like. Trying to re-wall, and nope, the elephant's there. I guess if you let the elephants walk in and then batter them down with the villagers and then wall behind them, might actually be a decent combination. Trying to add a market here to finally get up, but it looks like this is going to be absolute, complete domination between the elephant and the Shravamsha Riders. The TC really has to go after the Shravamsha Riders, but doesn't look like it's going to be successful. We do have spears coming out to try to help, but these elephants are so tanky, man. Okay, it does go down. How many villagers has... Leo's lost 17 villagers and has killed what I assume is 3 fishing ships, because has gotten 3 kills. Shramshas are just going to try to dodge the TC forever. Trying to take that spear. I mean, it seems like the spear does decently well, and FreakinAndy has come over here with the Armenian church to try to help out. And Nani, you'd think I would have the name figured out by this point in the match. Nani seems like they're doing a pretty good job defending on water. Don't have any fish alive, though. So maybe that's why they're a little bit later up to the next stage. Has added a few farms and is adding an outpost on the front just to see what might be coming next. Meanwhile, Kami is adding TC behind and still going in for this TC. Will the monks be able to survive? 2 monks, or what is that? 3 Shravamshas got converted? Yeah, these monks got 3 conversions, and no TC gaming. Gonna run to the fortified church. Shravamshas in quick pursuit. Monks need to jump in. Monks need to jump in. Monks do jump in. Try to get more conversions from behind. Green, for whatever reason, left some villagers behind. Maybe just stuck somewhere else, walled in. And it looks like they're all going to get converted. Monks didn't want to leave the safety of the fortified church, while I guess FreakinAndy was focusing elsewhere. Maybe on some micro. And look at all of these galleys from Nami who have snuck around. Speedy galleys. And yeah, once they find FreakinAndy's lifeblood of his economy, I think they're going to be in a rough position. Scatter like cockroaches around. And look at this, the intelligence here from Nami to move 1 galley away to try to find the rest of the fishing ships. Even going around to Green's fish to snipe that. And getting redemption now, FreakinAndy is. And you can tell FreakinAndy's focusing on a lot of things because these war galleys are still moving in the wrong direction. That junk ship was brought along. And yeah, look, these Gujara Shravamsha Riders are even doing very well against the war galleys. Tries to get a quick wall in. Unsuccessful. Does get a conversion, though. And the conversions are still going. But I think there's a significant advantage here for the worm-colored team. Nani, once he realizes, can just take this fight as well. No, but he's attacking the dock instead. Okay, does realize. Trying to bait some attacks here. FreakinAndy was spinning a war galley around. And eventually does, yeah, take a pretty good fight. Defender's advantage plus the poor entrance to that fight. But more and more war galleys are being produced. It's just 1 TC gaming, and it almost feels like it's going to stay 1 TC gaming to fully control the water and this choke point, or this crossing. Green does build a town center. Does Kamigawa's Shravamshas see that? Oops. I was trying to select the Kami's units, but they all got converted. And now light calves as well. Probably because of all the monks that are on the field. And FreakinAndy, actually, the first one up to Imp, getting Chemistry. And get Bracer. Yeah, also got Bracer. Very helpful for these ships. No, can't afford War Galley yet. But, of course, Armenian ships very, very strong with that extra damage. And it feels like, yeah, Nani doesn't try to take this fight. Just keeps wrapping around. But obviously, no, doesn't actually have any fish left. Does have a boar. Very interesting. Did he forget that he had a boar? Maybe that was the reason he was up a little bit later. One light cav just trying to snipe the fish that are back here. And it feels like it would be worthwhile for Nani to send some of these war galleys through the middle to snipe Green's remaining economy. All these fish that are in the back here. War galley now coming in for FreakinAndy, but Kami is on the way up as well. Nani actually having the high score on his team. But they're both around 5k, and on the other side, Leo's still struggling. Trying to set a few galleys around. Maybe they can do some damage. They don't even have fletch. Oh, they do have fletching. Okay. And a 2-villager castle here to defend by FreakinAndy. Ooh, nice wall off. Very nice wall off. The war galleys are able to escape for now and survive, hopefully, until Nami can get to Imp. We'll see if that's actually the case. I don't think he might be anywhere close to Imp. Armor coming in now for Kamigawa. Last armor upgrade. And Elephant's just passing? No, it is going to go for the fortified church. With the free relic. Look at this micro nerd. Making sure he only loses one villager in the process of clearing up those war galleys. Remainder of the war galleys sitting back. Very happy to be protecting this non-existent fishing economy for Nami. But does have a few war galleys in the back of Leo's base. Just not quite finding where those fishing ships are. But yeah, more Shravamshans in the back. And there's not really any land military outside of a few spears here. To help FreakinAndy. I really like the Gajara pick on this map. There's just no economy outside the water here. A few villagers trying to move around. Collect some gold where they can. Wouldn't be... Oh no, there's a mule cart here. I was going to say, FreakinAndy, you need to put on a mule cart. There's one right there, Colin. You just don't see if it's not moving, I guess. And we get the GG. So it ended up being... Why can't I click that? Oh, a little lag? Oh, I have it best of 5 instead of play of 5, that's why. Doesn't really matter, but I'd like to practice this. So we ended up having... What was it? Boom, 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 boom. They were able to finally finish that last game. Not quite in the order that we casted everything, but a fun series either way. And I'm excited for the full tournament to come about once players get a little bit more familiar with the maps. This map is interesting because, yeah, it's clear that full water play doesn't really seem like it's the best approach. It's a nice spin on like the islands concept, where if you have no land military, someone with Shravamsha riders can absolutely decimate your economy. And I don't think... I mean, I guess you could try to wall off against a landing, but since all players are going to be starting with docks, because, yeah, without Fish Boom, you're in a very rough position on this map. You're not on the same level in terms of economy. Players will be able to make transports and just transport around their economy, so walling doesn't seem like it's worth it. So yeah, very interesting map, except for this little wall here. That was very nice. And really wasn't viable anywhere else on the map. Just actually very fortunate with the map generation here. Yeah, I think we have a very interesting map on our hands. And I will be submitting my map tomorrow to the competition. And it's a bit more desert themed. But does have some mangroves, of course, to match in. And I'm hoping people have some fun times and we have some interesting games on that map as well. Until then, I'm going to have a very good night's rest. And I hope you do too.